Okay, I've had a bad day. I was biking today. Biked around all these trails out in the woods. Get off the trails in the bigger trails in the woods. And I get down to where it's time to turn around. And my tire went flat. Okay, I changed it right there, but then I thought, nah, I'd rather change it at home. And so I run back. Now, me and running, fast walkers will pass me up. All right. Enough said about that. I get home. I have 4 videos ready. 4 videos ready to put onto my hard drive. And with those 4 videos, I'm going to have the next 4 days talking to you guys. I decided I need to clear out some space on my phone. Can you see where this is heading? I deleted those videos. I don't know how. I did not choose them. I blame iPhone. It's their fault. They deleted my videos. So today, I am going to be talking about the local news, and I'm going to try to bring in all the not the evangelicals, but the faith healers I can possibly bring in relating to this. It's goofy, I know. Okay. To begin with, this is stuff that they like to throw at me because they know I'm reading this kind of stuff. So they tell me about a Ecotric, I don't know how to pronounce that, 500W fat tire e-bike. A review. The best $850 I've ever spent. I'm not interested. Not in the e-bikes yet. I will in time, probably. But I still like to read about it. So they threw that at me. Then one about the Beatles. George Harrison. When he realized anyone could be Lennon McCartney. I don't think so, George. However, for him it happened. He, on the White Album, put out some amazing tunes. So why? Because he had been with been with Paul and John for years, listening to them, learning how to write music, and he put out some good stuff. In fact, probably the best song in Abbey Road was by George Harrison. Something in the way. Anyway, is that the one? Yeah, something. And I think that might have been John. I was saying that. Dang it. I don't know. Anyway, the guitar song. While my guitar gently weeps. All right. So, it is something in the way. That was by George. Because, how do I know that? Because Frank Sinatra thought it was the best song of the entire 20th century. And John and Paul, who wrote all these songs and really admired Frank Sinatra tremendously, were blown away because George, who can't write music, got the best song of the whole century. I think they had a hard pill to swallow with that one. Anyway, the reason I got into the Beatles, the reason I really want to know all about them, is I have this burning question, and it still plagues me to this day because I don't have the solution. I have parts of it. And the question is, what gets somebody in my level all the way to the very top? Not that I really want to anymore. Believe me, I've seen enough of that world. I don't think I really want to. And if it would happen, it'd be like, I didn't expect it. Honestly, I have no desire anymore. But as a kid, I really wanted to. And I still was, what is the ingredient to that level of success? Now, Lene, my daughter, used to bring home interesting people. And one time she brought home a band, asked, I don't know where she met them. She was filming with them in LA or something, and they're in the area. She called us and said, can you have them stay with you? And yeah, we took them in. And I listened to one of their songs, and it was so good. This was top notch, as good as anything out there at that time. And I thought, these guys are going to just go through the roof. They're going to be huge. They never went anywhere. Why? And those are the kinds of things I wanted to find out. Why were bands who were really good going nowhere, and ones that were okay shooting to the top? What was that ingredient? No doubt there were many ingredients, and some of them is hard work. There's an old expression: the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I tell that to my daughter a lot. And I've told several times. But I look at these evangelists, faith healers, preachers. What propels the ones who are on the top? What got them up there? Hard work, sure, but there's a lot of people who work really hard who don't get there. There's a kind of an ingredient that just is impossible to say what did it. And of course, there will be people, well, it's the Holy Spirit. Is that why Paula White is in the White House? I don't think so. Anyway, so that's why I got into the Beatles so much, and I've never been able to answer that question well, except hard work, you get lucky. The harder you work. And even still, there are people who do nothing to get up there. Just the way things go. Okay. A lot of he said, she said in the news with all these riots. In other words, somebody might be protecting their store and shoot somebody, and he'll say the person was coming to attack me, and video comes out and shows something totally different, and you never can tell what's happened. So a lot of the stories are we jump on the story we believe the most from whatever person. One guy actually brought a bow and arrow. This guy's real bright, okay? Utah, Salt Lake City. While the protests going on, he brings in a bow and arrow. Now he says people jumped on his truck and he pulled out the bow and arrow to protect himself. And then the people beat him up. Video shows, nowadays it's harder and harder to make up these stories. Video shows he got up out of his truck in the middle of the crowd. Well, they're not even paying attention to him until he brings up his bow and arrow, compound bow. And he starts pulling back and aiming at people. And as soon as people see that, they jump on him fast. He gets beaten up. His explanation, first of all, he explained, okay, they beat up me before I even brought up my bow and arrow, which was a lie. Secondly, his explanation, I want to go down and help the police. All right. Some people are not all there. And if you're one of those people who just want to help the police, sometimes the best way is to stay out of their way. Police, like the rioters, you're going to get a small group that are bad. But generally speaking, police are trained. They know what to do. They know what not to do. You'll get a few exceptions to the rules who just break the rules. But they are trained. You are not. Don't think you're going to go out and help them with a bow and an arrow. Because in all likelihood, your truck is going to be overturned and burned, and you will get beaten up. Oh, all right. You know what? I think that's about all I got today. Oh, yes, I do want to mention one other thing. I was talking about Paula White. This is so exciting. All right. If you don't believe me that she's kind of out of it, she'd made one prayer at the president's inauguration or sometime in the White House. She prayed, or it might have been actually at his church. I think it was at her church, come to think of it. But she prayed that God would protect this world from the Aqua demons. I'm not sure those are the exact reasons. Aqua was mentioned, and I thought, what? Whoa, this is new ones for me. And so I looked it up, and I found out all about it. In the Indian Ocean, which is not really an ocean, but in the Indian Ocean, there lives a kingdom underwater, an aqua kingdom filled with demons. And those demons, they scatter throughout the world, and they focus on areas that are near waters. And they attack, and they influence, especially Democrats, and they influence the people of those cities. All right, she is in the White House. Can it get any scarier than that? All right, this is Ted. Have a good day.